Well, hey there, it's Monday and that's time for a garden update. Well, welcome back. It's so nice to visit with you today because it's in the 70s and I'm super happy about that. So sorry about the camera jostle there. But I actually got to wear my favorite green t-shirt, short sleeves, and no ugly green sweatshirt. So got a chore list going for the garden so that I'm not missing stuff, because you know it's gonna be quote unquote springtime just any time here in Arizona. So I've got a chore list, like I said, going, and so I got a lot of stuff to show you, okay? So let's start over here with the salad garden. So this morning I made a omelet, and so I came out here and got quite a bit of spinach out of here, and the carrots are just looking awesome in there. I really don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna have to talk to my husband, and maybe we'll dump this bucket here in another week or so. I gotta look back and see when I actually planted that. And over here, everything's looking awesome. I actually meant to cut some of this morning because the last batch that I cut is all good and dry, and this is all grown back and fluffed back up. So everybody over here in the salad garden is doing great. I'm going to get lots of good cuts off this week. I'm going to share with some neighbors, like I said, so that I can go start filling in before spring gets here too fast and we lose the opportunity for a couple more salads to come out of that. There's nothing new going on with these things. They're probably going to end up losing their buckets if they don't do something soon, because once I start planting tomatoes for real, I'm going to need all the buckets I can find. Bed 3, everything is just doing great. I still haven't gotten any major cuts off of this yet. All of the little different star pattern of spinach. I forgot last week to point out that we've got some mustard greens coming up over there, and this lovely little broccoli is looking so great. Get a good close-up of that. And the cabbage is just being stubborn. I mean, I keep trying to poke down in there and hope for a head, but that's as far as we've got. And that's our other collard green. And see, I still got room to throw a couple things in there, but I gotta be careful of the time, because you know I can't put something in that's gonna stay there very long. So maybe some radishes, that'd be a good idea, because radishes kind of come up and go and are done in a pretty fair amount of time. And I've got some French breakfast radishes that I haven't ever planted before, so I might give them a try. We are just so happy with all the flowers. Like, even my husband has been won over by the cosmos. And there's a lonely white one, and that hot pink one came out and looks just lovely. Look at that. I mean, just beautiful. So the cosmos have helped convert my husband a little bit. That's really good, because he doesn't know it, but I'm secret planting a lot in terms of flowers, especially like medicinal flowers. Like, I'd really like to get some calendula going. It's a wonderful, wonderful herb that we use in one of our salves around here. I actually think that this right here, I need to ask my gardening group, but I bet you that this right here is actually calendula. Got a lot of marigold seeds that I saved from last year, and so my plan is last night I got to thinking that I might take my 50 seed flat and just plant that full of marigolds and get them coming up. That way in another month or so they should be strong and good and ready to go in the garden, even though you can direct sow them all day long. I just know we're probably going to get another frost, and you know, why not just do it like that. In this bed we've got lots of awesomeness going on. This is getting bigger, and a cool thing about broccoli, if you can see, is down here on the side it starts to put in other little kind of side shoots of broccoli, so that's cool. Not a lot of action going on with these Brussels sprouts, and I'm getting pretty anxious because so many other people are seeing some things come along. I'm thinking really about trimming off some of these bottom branches, because I'm pretty sure that that's what Hollis and Nancy do, but I'm gonna have to go back and double check that video of theirs. Yesterday I picked like handful of peas off of here, and I guess my husband hadn't really ate many of them. You know what, these actually might be the snow peas instead of the snap peas, and that's why they're flat, because they're not really getting thicker. I could be wrong though. No real new action. Well, wait, right there. That might be low and below. Yep, that's our cauliflower coming in there. You can kind of see the white down there on this side. So that's awesome. See, this one doesn't have any kind of a ball. Ooh, yay, a cauliflower. So I'm thrilled and excited about that. Now, one more thing I wanted to talk to you about the flower, because I really kind of want to get into seed collecting. So see there, those are some dry seeds. And so I said to my husband that I'm gonna let these that look like this go another day or two, and then I'm gonna come back around and try and collect some cosmos seeds, because I really don't know if they're going to direct sow. So if they don't, I've got my own seeds. Let's run over to Lazy Bed 1 and see the low to nothing going on over there. Oh, look. Oh, Mr. Carrot here is getting quite a bit taller. Look at that. I mean, that's really height for this bed so far. So maybe they're gonna go ahead and make us a decent carrot. You know, I wanna pull that one right there. Oh, look, it actually looks good. Look, it's peeking its shoulder. Oh gosh, we're gonna have to do it. You think we should? See, it just still looks wonky. So I'm leaving it. More spinach over here that is just getting stronger and stronger. And this is our Brussels sprout over here. And Brussels sprouts kind of form on the edges of the leaf stacks. I really got to get on top of figuring out if I need to trim those off or not. Down here, our little seedlings are about ready for me to come over here and clip out a twin. And then, actually, you know what? Thank goodness, because we're getting a true set of kale over here. So this is the kale and this is the spinach, or not spinach, but this is the cabbage that was accidentally planted. So we could probably just, you know, pull up almost all of this because nothing's really centered, and I don't know. The Nasturtiums are looking great, and they've got a little bit of, oh yeah, see over here is another flower like I showed you in that other bed. That wasn't here before, and that's also one that I think looks like calendula. And so that and this, I don't know what this is, and by rubbing it, it doesn't really smell like cilantro. Maybe it's parsley or something. So in an effort not to lose my seedlings, you remember I had two kind of egg crates that I'd planted tomato seeds in and pepper seeds. And so I guess those were both, they were 18 slotted egg carton thingies, and out of both of them I got 16 that transplanted. And that wasn't, some of that was my fault, because you remember I had the day where I left them outside and they got beat down in the wind. So some of those just never recovered. Some didn't come up, but that's okay, because now I've got a list of what I need to fill in and what I'm all good on. So here I've got everybody, see, this one hadn't even emerged, but what the heck, you know. So I got everybody planted in their own little solo cup, and my hope is, because these were leggy, I mean, they were getting some of them as long as that. So I'm hoping that this time with getting them outside often, then I'm gonna be able to keep them from getting so leggy. And that's why I just went ahead and planted them all the way up to where they were. So I'm gonna water these here in just a second, but then they're gonna look yucky, so I figured I'd let you see how nice they look. Now I wanna share with you a little fail on our part, just so you kinda know for your own knowing. I like to save eggshells for to use when I plant my tomatoes. So like I've got all these tomatoes and all these peppers, and when they go into their 5-gallon buckets, I want every one of those buckets to have, you know, ground eggshells in it. So I try to keep a container in the kitchen that is shells that have been boiled, and then shells that were, you know, had raw eggs come from them. But somewhere in there, things got mixed up. People were throwing them in all in the same Ziploc bag. This is what we've got, is we ended up with, like, I don't know if you can see, it's kind of mold. It definitely smelled like mold. And I still went ahead and baked them in the oven, but I just can't take a chance on my food. So Unless somebody can tell me in the next day or two that I should go ahead and use these, then they're probably gonna go in the trash, because I don't even know if they're suspect enough or too suspect to put into the compost. So let's run inside real quick and I'll show you what the cold weather crops look like. Remember, they're already in kind of 2-inch, 3-inch type containers. So I'm thinking, well, the rest of this week we're supposed to be in the 70s until Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then it's supposed to rain. So somewhere, depending on what the temperature calendar looks like, I'm gonna push to get them out into the garden in the next week or two also. And that's even with them just being little seedlings. To me, they got started, and sometimes that's the hardest part. So I'm gonna pick really sunny locations to put them in, and hopefully get another round of those crops. So let's take a peek at that. Right here, these are all of my little herb seedlings that are coming up. So there's a couple of basils, there's a dill, and a cilantro that are back there. So also within the week, I think I'm going to put these all in a big planter together, or at least get them to their own home, because remember, these are really planning to stay in the house with me. And these are the broccoli and the cabbage, the additional plants that we're going to try to get another round on before the true spring summertime comes. I just wanted to show you real quick here on, this was like my carton 1. And this was my carton 2. So everything that you see circled are the ones that made it. So I actually had 3 Cherokees make it, Cherokee Purples, 2 Romas, 2 Ace 55s. So if these manage to stay, which I still might end up planting some backups, but if I really want some tomatillas and some punta bandas though. But otherwise, if I can get what's out there now to stay alive, then I might not have to plant too much more. All right, well, thanks so much for checking in, and I hope you have the best week ever, and we'll see you next week.